Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy back here with a new banger of a video. Previously, I did a video of what if Gojo was in Naruto. So today, I thought if I did a Gojo video, why not do a Sukuna video? But the Gojo video, Gojo was nice, friendly with everyone, helping everyone out, because that's who Gojo is, right? He's a good guy. But today, we have a completely different character, a menace to society and evil reincarnate, Ryumen Sukuna. Today we are throwing a Kuna into the world of Naruto by introducing a character who would undoubtedly shake the very foundation of the shinobi world. None other than Sukuna, the king of curses from Jujutsu Kaisen. So brace yourself for a crossover like none other you've ever seen. So, let's begin. Sukuna, with his insane thirst for power and ruthless nature, and obviously his insane thirst for battles as well, would be a force to reckon with in the Narutoverse. We all know that, right? Imagine him stepping into the shoes of a rogue ninja, wreaking havoc wherever he goes with his terrifying curse techniques. That would be absolutely insane. Like, just imagine Sukuna just going around the Narutoverse, whoever is coming his way, to catch him, just, flick his finger and topple off their head or something. Absolutely insane. Sukuna is one of the most iconic villains in the entire anime verse, in the period, especially with what's happening in the manga and the Sukuna cycle forming, right? Picture this: Sukuna, with his immense curse energy and the mastery of his curse energy and techniques, facing off against the like of Orochimaru, Pain, or even Madara Uchiha. His presence alone would send shockwave throughout the shinobi world, challenging the very balance of power. Now, let's not forget about, Sukuna's potential allies or adversaries. Being completely honest, Sukuna having an ally in the Narutoverse is literally something that I don't see happening. And I'll tell you why. Because Sukuna, from his character, what we know of, does what he wants. Pretty much, yeah, that's what he does, right? He does what he wants. He eats whenever he wants. Someone, if they don't like him, he kills them. He has fun with whatever he sees interesting until he gets bored of it and, ends up killing them or eating them. So if you think like Sukuna allying with the Akatsuki or the Hidden Leaf or any of the hidden villages, the chances of that happening are pretty low, for what I must say. So what I think would happen, let's just say Sukuna, for some reason, after his battle with Gojo. So what the version of Sukuna that I'm taking is the Megumi Sukuna, because obviously Naruto verse is a lot stronger than the JJK verse, and the only two people who can really contend in the Naruto verse are Gojo and Sukuna. So they are the only ones that we can actually put into this verse. First was Gojo, and now is Sukuna. So the first thing, let's just say, is Sukuna with his 10 shadows and his normal shrine technique appears into the Naruto verse. He doesn't know what the fuck is going on, right? As Sukuna would try to figure it out by walking throughout the Fire Nation, he would see few shinobis, and then he would just go ahead and ask them, where the fuck am I, and what is this place's name? Obviously they would say this is the fire capital and whatnot. Sukuna would be really confused since he has not heard of the fire capital anywhere, right? He pretty much knows the entire map of Japan at that point, I'm pretty sure, right? The Shinjuku and Shibuya and the entirety of Japan in the modern world. So this would be pretty shocking to him. He's like, what? Like, Sukuna would be that, right? He'll probably be a little bit infuriated. He'll probably kill the shinobi or the ninjas that he asked for help. Like, just being like, oh, fuck you. You're trying to play games with me? Dismantle. Right then and there. No questions asked. So, the thing is, what would Sukuna do? First thing is he would try to figure it out. And in my Gojo video, Gojo came to the conclusion that he traveled in the past somehow, right? So for Sukuna, even that would not be an option because of simple reasons. Sukuna is 1,000 years old, meaning he probably knows every single era that has happened from the time of his birth till the Shinjuku showdown. So Sukuna would be confused. He's like, okay, this is not the past from what I know. And the shinobi world is somewhat, more advanced, I assume, than 1,000-year-old Heian period era that Sukuna existed in. So he would think, okay, this era is a little more advanced than my era, and it's a lot less advanced than the era that I, came from. So what is going on exactly? Sukuna would be really confused. But being Sukuna, he would just disregard it and try to live his life, right? Killing whatever amuses him and whatnot. The thing is, if Sukuna goes in the Hidden Leaf village, they will try to inspect him, and Sukuna would not like that one bit. He would probably be like, okay, fuck you, I'm gonna kill all of you. Your pop is cleaving this man's a lot. Probably any other village. Let's just leave the Hidden Leaf for right now because I don't want some kind of crossover happening right now. So let's just go to the Sand Village after Gora is kidnapped at the weakest, just to make my point. So Sukuna goes there. Gora has already been kidnapped. The entirety of the Sand Village is in chaos. Sukuna is there. Sukuna arrives. The Sand Village people are trying to ask him. Sukuna doesn't like, people just asking him questions like it's their everyday chore. They're pretty much talking to him disrespectfully as well, since he is an intruder. So Sukuna, not liking that, would kill them, and then he would slowly go towards go into the village. More and more shinobi would come towards him, and as much as I would like to say they stand a chance, they really don't. Like Sukuna, for the most part, unless we bring the big hitters, he's one-shotting almost anyone in the Naruto-verse. I know, sounds insane, but unless, again, we bring the big hitters, nothing is really happening. This is Sukuna at full power, 20 fingers, Megumi's body. He has 10 shadows, has his shrine abilities. So, yeah. And also, I forgot to mention, this Sukuna also has the world-cutting slash thingy. So, yeah, keep that in mind. Again, we are trying to make this as fair as for Sukuna, since, we want him to be a complete menace in the Naruto world. So, Sukuna would see all the shinobi just arrive here, just surrounding him. Sukuna would think, okay, all of the shinobi are here. What should be the best decision to deal with all of them as quickly as humanly possible? Gaara is not here, because if he was here, then it would be an interesting battle. I do think that Sukuna would win, but again, it would be an interesting battle to say the least. But Sukuna, not liking the thing that they're all surrounding him, would open his domain expansion. And, Shibuya incident arc happening all over again. Instead of the radius being 140 meters, it's 200 meters completely. Sukuna expands his domain. Anything under 200 meters is absolutely obliterated. And, at the end of the day, I do think that Sand Village will be actually sand. Nothing will be there. It will just be dust, actual sand. So, yeah. Well, 5 great villages. Yeah, count it as 4 great villages because we have a Sukuna problem here. So, just for the sake of the plot, I'm just going to say one man has survived. One man from Hidden Sand had survived. When Naruto and others come back to the Hidden Sand, they see nothing. Pretty much, they see nothing. They just see a huge-ass crater that is formed because of Sukuna's malevolent shrine. The one survivor that has come, they would come crying towards Gaara, and he would say, Kazekage, our village was absolutely obliterated by one man. Gaara would hear that and he would be shocked. He'd be like, what? Like, literally what? And he would explain that Sukuna, he was so powerful, no one was able to touch him. And when we thought we finally surrounded him, he summoned a shrine behind him and he killed everyone. Innocent children, female, male, shinobi, and unfortunately for Gaara, Kankuro and Tamari would be a victim as well. Gaara would be absolutely furious and it would ask the man's description as to his appearance, how he looks. The man, or the survivor in this case, would tell Gaara, "Sir, he has black hair, he has markings all over his body, he's wearing a white kimono or some kind of thing, and over that he has a black overcoat or whatever, right?" And Gaara would see that description and tell Naruto to help him to inform Lady Tsunade about this threat, because one of the 5 major villages getting wiped out is a huge thing in the Naruto verse. That disturbs the balance of power, right? That's like a tail beast levels of power that we are talking about here. So once we go there, with Naruto, they will bring Gaara along, since there is no Sand Village and Kazekage that they have to take care of. So Gaara would tag along to the Hidden Leaf Village, and they would inform Tsunade about this. Tsunade would be absolutely flabbergasted, as to what the fuck are they actually saying. A single man destroyed the entire village hidden in the sand. This man's would be completely famous around the 4 great nations, since I do believe Tsunade would go around and inform the other nations about this man as well, right? Because who knows, Kumo or the Rock Village or the Mist Village all might be the next victims of this man. The Akatsuki would be informed of this as well, and Zetsu. Now this is where things start getting interesting. While the 4 great villages are aware of this man and want to get rid of him, the Akatsuki would think a little different. Having to see such a power on display, they'd want to get him on their side, right? So the person that I believe would directly go to talk to Sukuna after hearing he did such a huge feat of wiping out a hidden village by himself would be either Obito or Pain. Either one of those two are going, and depending of who goes, the outcome could be different. Pain going there, let's just say Pain goes there, we'll talk about both the scenarios. Pain going there, Pain would try to convince Sukuna to join him, for his cause. He wants to bring world peace and whatnot. If Pain goes there and tells Sukuna of world peace, Sukuna's not really gonna be interested in doing that, right? He's not gonna be really interested, and he's gonna tell, wait, bro, you look strong, let's fight. Pain would absolutely be flabbergasted, and he would not want to fight Sukuna, but he really doesn't have much of a choice, right? So the battle between Pain and Sukuna would begin, and then this battle is gonna be absolutely interesting, because Sukuna will have to pop out Maharaga. Why do I think so? Sukuna doesn't really know much things about the Naruto verse. You guys have to realize that fact. If Sukuna doesn't know much about the Naruto verse, he will try to decode all of Pain's abilities. And if that is really the case, then he will likely want to adapt to the abilities as well. So Sukuna is probably gonna pop out the wheel over his head rather than actually bringing out Maharaga. So he would tap the Dharma chakra over his head, and then he would start fighting Pain. Pain really doesn't have anything except for the soul pulling thing out in the Naraka path. He really doesn't have anything that would really kill Sukuna. Sukuna, on the other hand, has his domain expansion, which, to be on the contrary, I do think would kill Pain. Only the Tendo Pain might be able to survive it if he pushes the slashes away, but I even don't know if that's possible or not, since the guarantee hit effect might just cancel that out. But And this is Sakuna plays with pain a bit, is able to adapt to most of it, like especially Chibaku Tensei and not Chibaku, especially Shinra Tensei and Almighty Push and Almighty Pull. So once he adapts to those two abilities, it's pretty much GG's. The summons will be taken care of by these Shikigamis. I do believe that the Shikigamis are much stronger than the summons that Pain will summon, with Sukuna's cursed energy being such a huge factor. Right? Sukuna's arsenal is just a perfect counter for Pain. So after he completely adapts to the, Diva Pat's abilities, Sukuna will summon Maharaga. And after Maharaga comes, it's a wraps, man. Sukuna is gonna be dealing with the other paths of Pain, while Maharaga deals with the Diva path. And yeah, things don't look very good. Sukuna will probably wipe them out off the floor. Probably use Fuga or Domain Expansion to end it. Not even using the World Bisecting Slash. Keep that in mind. Not even using the World Bisecting Slash, Sukuna would win this battle. Now, meaning he would not join the Akatsuki. Obito, on the other hand, is a really interesting case. Now, why do I say that? The reason is Obito's Kamui is a perfect counter to Sukuna's Cleave and Dismantle overall. Now, the thing is, even if Sukuna tries to adapt to Kamui, can you really adapt to it? Because, in order to adapt to something, or how Maharaga's adaptation really works is, you have to get hit by Maharaga, and after you get hit by him, he adapts to that phenomena. Kamui, unless it's Kakashi's Kamui, you cannot really get hit by it. Unless Obito strolls you in, and once he kind of teleports you to the Kamui dimension, it's GG's. Nothing is gonna happen. So the thing is, what could Sukuna really do against Obito? So nothing really. If Sukuna opens his domain, Obito can just say bye bro, I'm actually leaving out of here. I'll just chill in my Kamui dimension until your domain is done. So Obito would just do that. So there's nothing really that Sukuna could do. So like I don't know what could happen, man, because especially how Kamui works is it teleports the specific part of your body into the Kamui dimension. So let's just say Sukuna uses the world cutting slash that he used against Gojo to kill him, and he fires that off. But the thing is, even if Sukuna targets the space that Obito exists in, that space that Obito exists is not really even there. It's in the Kamui dimension, an entire dimension away. So really, what could be done even in the first place? Obito is perfect counter for Sukuna's abilities, man. So let's just say that Pain goes in there, just for the sake of the plot going on and the story getting further and further. Let's just say Nagato goes in and he loses. Now the thing is, even if Pain is killed, Nagato is not killed. Sukuna does not have the sensory abilities of Sage Mode in order to know that, okay, these guys are being controlled by another being. Obviously, I think he would figure that out, as Jiraiya did. But that simply means that Nagato himself is not dead. So the leader of the Akatsuki, or the supposed leader of the Akatsuki, would still be alive. So after all that is done, I do believe that Jiraiya would still die, as Nagato himself is very well and alive. Just the six paths of Pain are absolutely dead and eviscerated. Just that factor alone, I think, would cause Jiraiya's death. Now, the other thing that I would pretty much have an interest in, if Nagato really couldn't convince Sukuna, what would Obito actually do? I already, discussed the battle before. If Obito sees Sukuna as a threat, he might go to deal with him. Or either the second option, Obito just leaves Sukuna completely alone and focuses on gathering the tail piece. Like, Obito could go either, but I personally believe that he would just leave Sukuna alone, especially after hearing that Pain or Nagato lost to him. So yeah, that would be a huge blow for Obito, knowing that Nagato lost to someone. So he would probably leave Sukuna alone for right now, and then Sukuna encountering any of the Akatsuki members is highly unlikely, since again Sukuna would just be roaming around doing his thing, causing havoc and pain to everyone, I guess. But for the most part, Sukuna would do whatever the fuck he likes. Now here, after once the in this case 4 Kage meeting starts, right? Pain attacked the Hidden Leaf village, and Naruto defeated him, converted Nagato into a good guy and whatnot. All that's this shish kebab still happens. Sasuke still becomes evil after knowing Itachi's death and sacrifice. So all that jazz still happens. Sukuna being there really does not change anything of that. Again, this is not the Gojo What If. In the Gojo What If, the entire script is completely busted, because Gojo, once he goes on a mission with Naruto and the others to retrieve Sasuke from the Tenchi Bridge arc, he comes back with Sasuke, and that changes things drastically. So where things actually change is the 4th Great Shinobi War. Here is where Sukuna would make his presence known. Sukuna absolutely loves chaos and strives for battle. So once he does get that, and what is the peak of battle and absolute destruction and chaos? A war. Once he hears that a war is going on, Sukuna is the first one in the front lines going there. And the thing, and I don't really know who would Sukuna support. Alright? Would he support the, other paths of Kabuto and the other, or would he support the ninja forces? Now, from what it looks like, Sukuna might actually support the ninja forces in this one. And the reason is, just to make things really, really, really interesting, Sukuna goes to the battalion that Gaara went in, right? So the battalion that fought the 3rd Raikage and whatnot. And the reason I say that is because Sukuna wants a good battle, and most of the strong people will revive there, especially Madara, but we're gonna get into that later. Once that happens, the 3rd Raikage comes, and the 4 revived Kage from the past come, right? Gaara tries to deal with all these Kages, all of that jazz is happening. But then, all of them, including the 4 revived Kage, sense an ominous presence in the area. They all look up to see Sukuna floating in the air, his red, menacing eyes looking down at the battlefield with a grin on his face. As Sukuna lands in the ground, he looks at the 4 Kage in front of him, as if striving for a battle that he had been waiting for. Sukuna starts to laugh and laugh as he looks at all of them. This one is gonna be fun, Sukuna says, as he looks at all the Kage and gets into his stance. He throws off his cloak that he was wearing and smiles. Let's go, shall we? Sukuna says as the battle begins. The first one that I think that Sukuna would go after is the 3rd Raikage. Simply being the strongest. Gaara would probably handle Raza. Onoki would handle the 2nd Mizukage, and then the rest, I guess, would pretty much, or the 1 Kage, the predecessor of Onoki, the 2nd Tsuchikage, would probably be the only one that would, just hide like he did in the original in order to summon Madara. Because Sukuna, if you guys in any shape or form believe Sukuna would lose to the 3rd Raikage, you're out of your mind. It's true that 3rd Raikage's defenses are absolutely busted, But the thing is, Sukuna's offense is also absolutely busted. He can probably adapt to everything that the third Raikage is doing, and if the push comes to shove, he might just use the wall cutting slash on the third Raikage, and that would be GG's. Or other problem is that he could just summon Maharaga over his the wheel and adapt to the third Raikage's durability and his chakra cloak, and then deal with him that way. There's so many possibilities that Sukuna could defeat the third Raikage with. So after all this happens, you know, Kabuto is shocked because Sukuna just defeated the third Raikage without even having much of an effort. So what he does is summons Madara. Now this is the battle that I've discussed before, right? I've discussed this battle before, and people in the comment section were absolutely fucking flaming me, saying that Madara would absolutely destroy Sukuna. And there were some people who were also saying the opposite, that Sukuna would solve the entirety of Naruto verse, which is obviously not true. So the thing is that Sukuna does not scale up to the six paths character. Let's say Jubito, six paths Sage Mode Naruto, you know, Rinnegan Sasuke, Jubidara, Kaguya, the Otsutsuki in Boruto, you know, those kind of feats, even for someone like Sukuna, it's not happening. Okay, Sukuna just cannot scale that high. So Sukuna at the best that he can scale up to is Madara, right? The reanimated Madara. Let's take that. So what could Sukuna do against reanimated Madara once he's arrived? So the battle would obviously begin, both Sukuna and Madara being absolutely fucking excited to fight each other. And how would the battle begin? You know, Onoki would tell the shinobis to stay back, let Sukuna fight Madara, and, you know, do whatever he can to, you know, probably bring him down up to some extent. Sukuna, being the Chad that he is, would go first face in to fight against Madara, and he would, you know, try to figure out Madara's abilities here and there in terms of taijutsu. I already discussed in the previous video of Sukuna versus Madara. They both were pretty much equal, right? Nothing really would change there. But Sukuna would have Maharaga's wheel over his head. Madara would be a little bit stronger in terms of raw physical strength and whatnot, but they should be almost equal in terms of speed, raw physical strength. Madara will start to use Susanoo at some point, then Sukuna might start to use his slashes, maybe Fuga, or many other things that he can use. Maybe even the world cutting slashes to absolutely destroy the Susanoo, right? So once that happens, Madara will actually acknowledge Sukuna as someone really strong. So what he might do, that sounds crazy, but what Madara might actually do is summon the fucking meteor from the sky. Right? Hear me out. So what Madara might do is summon the meteor from the sky and make it drop on Sukuna. We already saw how that ended. Sukuna would be just sitting on the meteor for the most part, just, you know, chilling there, doing absolutely nothing, like how he did against Jogo, right? So Sukuna would just be chilling there in front of the in top of the meteor, waiting for Madara to reform in his reanimation. Madara once forms, he said, "Yeah, you're pretty fast. Like, you escaped that meteor." And Sukuna would, you know, just take that as a compliment. He's like, "Yeah, I'm dead, man." So then they would continue their fight. Madara at some point would take Sukuna seriously and might even activate his perfect Susanoo, use the Rinnegan abilities. And Sukuna, knowing of the Rinnegan abilities from fighting Pain in this scenario, would know of Pain's abilities, so he knows how to counter Madara in that way. He would adapt to Madara's Susanoo at some point, and the reason I believe that is the Susanoo is a chakra barrier, right? If Sukuna can adapt to the exact variation of the chakra that Madara is using, if he can adapt to infinity, which is literally also a cursed technique. So he can probably adapt to the Susanoo's defensive capabilities as well, and probably deal with Susanoo at some point. And then Madara would probably be forced to use his full power and go in the perfect Susanoo. Maharaga would be able to deal with the perfect Susanoo. Again, the thing is that this Madara will not have anything to put down Sukuna. His regen is so goddamn high. I know people have disagreed with me all the time, but Sukuna's regen is really, really, really high. He was blown up by a hollow purple technique, which is highly debatable island or continental level technique, and he just ate that thing. Even when Gojo landed a 200% hollow purple, Sukuna ate that thing. I repeat it. Sukuna ate the 200% hollow purple in his face. And you don't believe that he won't be able to eat some of Madara's attacks? Bro, you gotta be over your head or something. The hollow purple that Gojo used at the end of the Shinjuku showdown battle that these two monsters had is at least a Bijudama level. And if you believe that Madara's slashes and the Bijudama are on the same scale, then by extension, Madara should be able to survive, Madara's slashes. And since he has already adapted this Susanoo's chakra beforehand, even if Sukuna, Madara does go all out with this perfect Susanoo, Sukuna should be able to deal with it. Now again, he might create a specific new slash for Madara's Susanoo, and then maybe even incorporate that slash into his domain expansion, and then spam that shit. So what can Madara really do? The thing with Madara also is that Sukuna doesn't have any fucking way to seal him away, right? Madara is a reanimated shinobi, so he doesn't have anything that can seal him away. So Sukuna and Madara are gonna be in a stalemate for the most part, until, I repeat, until maybe the 4 Kages arrive. Right? The 4 Kages arrive to take care of Madara. And then Sukuna is like, you motherfuckers, if you intervene in my fight, you're getting it. But the thing is that Sukuna would eventually get tired out. The guy can only fight for so long, right? So he would obviously get tired out at some point, using his domains, using Fuga, Maharaga, and whatnot. And then eventually nothing would, he would not have enough fuel in the tank to continue the battle. So the 4 Kage would take over the battle. Reason I say that is Madara does have infinite stamina while he is a reanimated shinobi. So, take that as that. Again, I do believe that if Gaara would help Sukuna in sealing Madara away prior to the battle of the 4 Kage, we might be able to get somewhere, but we already saw how sealings go against Madara. So, that's not gonna happen. And then another thing is Madara will be able to take care of Sukuna and the 4 Kage. He would not kill him, especially Sukuna, since he has earned respect. And then obviously go to get the tail beast, the 9 tails, and the 8 tails. Once all this jazz happens, Sukuna would be furiated with his loss against Madara, and then would go to fight him again. That is how Sukuna is, right? This time being completely prepared, knowing all of Madara's abilities. The 10 tails would get revived, meaning it's waiting for Sukuna. Sukuna will look at the 10 tails and be like, okay, this thing is stronger than Madara. Let me face off against this thing. And then he will soon realize that, okay, yeah, me killing this thing, the chances of that happening are pretty low. So let me just not mess with that thing right now. Right? That is what Sukuna would believe. He would start fighting probably Madara again, just for the sake of it. But this time, Sukuna has recovered. And he's completely locked in. Meaning Sukuna might even hit few black flashes, just boosting his curse technique and everything by a long shot. Again, he doesn't have any way to seal Madara away. So, eventually Hashirama and the four Hokages would arrive and try to deal with the Ten Tails, while Madara is holding, or Sukuna is holding off Madara. Madara by this point is so excited to fight Sukuna, and so busy in it. So he would not even, want to go to Hashirama right now. He's like, bro, I have this. I found a new boyfriend for me right now. Hashirama, you can go and deal with the Ten Tails if you want to, but I'll just fight him. So the whole jazz with Obito happens, and he becomes Jubito. Now, once that happens, everything pretty much goes the same. But unfortunately, this time, Madara does not want to, play around as much. Again, Sukuna does not have any sealing techniques to seal Madara away. So he would, try to kill Sukuna. But as Madara is about to land his final blow on Sukuna, as Sukuna is pretty much dead at this point, completely exhausted of his cursed energy, he would smile. As Sukuna would smile, he would erupt with a huge amount of cursed energy that would force Madara to jump back. As Madara would jump back, he would grin, seeing that Sukuna had an ace up his sleeve. As Sukuna would go 4 arms, 2 mouths, and one side of his face would become demorphed. And there he was, Ryumen Sukuna, standing in his full glory of the Heian era Sukuna. Madara would be excited to fight a new battle, as Sukuna would go through hand signs and go and release his word cutting slash at Madara. Now, the reason before Sukuna versus Madara, he could not use his world cutting slash was pretty much Madara would not allow him to use the world cutting slash. So he had to pretty much rely on using Maharaga in order to adapt, right? But this time, since Sukuna has 2 mouths and 4 hands, he can use the world cutting slash right now. So he would use that constantly, first of all, meaning that Madara might kind of be fucked over here if those hit him. But the thing is, again, Madara would just regen out of all that. But this time, on the other hand, if Hashirama helps Sukuna seal Madara away, then it's GG's. I do think that Hashirama has enough of a strong sealing jutsu to seal Madara away, especially when he's probably weakened by Sukuna's entire ordeal, him cutting him up. So yeah, I do believe that would happen, and that would be the end of Madara. So once that happens, Sukuna would be pretty exhausted. Probably his RCT output would be pretty low. And everything that would be pretty low, pretty exhausted for him. Probably he would be able to use his domain, but the thing is, his CT would be so low that he would not be able to even use that as well. Sukuna might take a little bit of break from the battle, and then just chill and see the young lads absolutely fucking destroy the likes of Jubito, and then eventually, since Madara is dealt with, nothing really happens here. Since Jubito is kind of dealt with, Naruto and Sasuke kind of duke it out. And do I really have to explain who wins in the battle of Naruto versus Sasuke? Again, these both are not even in their 6 paths form. When the 6 paths form did arrive, the battle power gap became a little lower. But EMS Sasuke is not more powerful than Sage and more KCM to Naruto. He's way weaker than KCM, Sage, more Naruto, right? So Sasuke gets his ass cheeks clapped. Not even the both losing their hands thing happens, right? So yeah. And if you guys are wondering how can I say that, Sasuke cannot use his perfect Susanoo in his EMS form. As much as I would like to say that he could, he can't. Like, he cannot use his perfect Susanoo. We didn't get any confirmation that he could use his perfect Susanoo until he got his Renegon. So we cannot just say that, And after all that ordeal happens, Sukuna might just pop into battle Naruto or anyone after seeing who's the strongest, and try to prove that he is the strongest of this era. Now, the battle between KCM2, Sage Mode, Naruto, and Sukuna is an interesting one. I would love to say that Sukuna would win, but as much as I would love to say that Sukuna would win, it's hard for me to say that, specifically when Naruto probably has more chakra than him. Let's just be honest. Sukuna, if he could, make equal stats of cursed energy and chakra, probably Naruto has more. Naruto's probably fighting for over 24 hours in the war, so that's that. Naruto also has, bare feet. He has the entire of the Kurama inside of him at this point. Probably Minato gave him that shit. And then, Sage Mode stack on top of that. Malevolent Shrine might be able to kill Naruto, but then again, the regen is a thing. Gojo was able to do a regen from it. So, I do think that Naruto would be able to regen from, the entirety of the Malevolent Shrine. The World Cutting Slash that Sukuna uses is a problem, though. If Naruto gets hit by that, it's over. Naruto could not even regenerate one of his arms. So it's not like Naruto's regen abilities are that good, so that he can just regen his entire limbs and stuff. He cannot do that, so it'll be an interesting battle. But for the most part, I do believe that Naruto will have enough raw power to deal with him. Just because of the factor that Naruto does have a Bijudama, just in case and nothing works out. Again, Sukuna might pull off the W as well, right? Yeah. If he lands a World Cutting Slash, then it is over. And then Naruto, for the most part, if he doesn't land a Bijudama, it's over for Naruto, because anything else Sukuna probably will be able to regen from. So yeah, it just really just depends on how it goes. Sukuna in this state of form will have 4 arms, 2 mounts, so he'll be able to form any kind of chance to perform the World Cutting Slash. His domain will be much stronger and whatnot. So again, this battle is gonna be a straight up a dog kind of fight, because again, unlike Madara, who loves to play around, Naruto might not play around as much and let Sukuna adapt to the Kurama chakra around him. But if he does play around and he lets Maharaga adapt to the Kurama chakra that he has, Naruto's defenses are absolutely cooked. He might very well be cooked, and Sukuna will pull off the W. But if Naruto goes in for the kill instantly, seeing how strong Sukuna is, he might actually go in, because in this what if scenario, Naruto and Sukuna has cleared off an entire village hidden in the sand. He has fought Madara, being the main reason that why Madara had been sealed away. So yeah, he might actually go in for the kill right from the start. So once all that jazz happens, Sukuna might just die, just for the sake of it. And if he doesn't, and he ends up killing Naruto, then Sukuna might become the entire world dominator, because there will be no one strong enough to face him at that point. Because he killed Naruto, so the entire 9-tailed beast is gonna be forming. Sasuke, who's the only next person who might be able to challenge him, because of the fact that Naruto died after Naruto probably changed him, he would be pretty shocked as well, and he would try to kill Sukuna and then get killed in process. If Sukuna could kill Madara, then he'll probably just gobsmack Sasuke out of there. So yeah, after all that bullshit happens, Sukuna will take over the world and goodbye Shinobi world. So yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. If you like this video and not so very good ending of the scenario of what if Sukuna came to the Naruto verse, then like the video and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below and what you think would have happened if Sukuna came into the Naruto verse. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.